web design agency and serving startups and more established brands, both high-tech and non-tech. Prior to Moxie, Omer was head of marketing at Contact and at Netflix. And prior to that, he ran marketing for various consumer packaged brands such as Bailey's Irish Cream and Peet's. Came to the U.S. from Israel 22 years ago. I guess you were going to stay for 2 or 3 months, and you haven't gone home yet, I guess. Yeah.
So I'm a marketing brand guy, so I think about things mainly from a brand perspective or from a consumer perspective. I'm not into the technology so much, so maybe a little bit different. To me, the data, in a way, is turning the web into a place that is a bit more homogeneous with the physical world. By that, what I mean is, if we go back to our life before the web, or even our life outside of the web, we interact with different businesses, whether they're local businesses or companies, on an ongoing basis. I go and repair my car somewhere. I have a coffee on University Avenue. And when I do that, there's some sort of an interaction with the people around me or the people on the business side. So I talk to the barista guy, and if I'm a frequent customer, he probably knows a little bit about me. And he maybe even knows what I want to order. He knows by just looking at me that I'm not 18. He knows who my friends are because he probably sees me, again and again with the same type of people. Maybe even remembers who my friends are specifically, and he even knows potentially what I'm talking about because I'm waiting for the coffee and I have a chat near the counter, and so he hears that I'm talking about technology. So a lot of the things that Uli mentioned, those buckets of data are happening in real life too. And so if social works right, a lot of those things can happen online as well. Now what happens is that we marketers and companies found ways to mask the real story in many cases. So we can build great sites. We can make a tiny company that means almost nothing look great. And we can make a great company look small and crafty. And we can do different things. It can happen in the real world as well, but it's really easy to do it online because your storefront is basically a website in many cases. So it's easier to do it than in real life. So I think that social basically suddenly makes this more difficult to happen. When you add the social layer to the web, it is not as easy to mask things. So I can, as a website owner, I can tell a story in a very polished way, the way I want it, or non-polished, whatever I decide to. But then if a customer goes and digs just a little bit deeper and finds out that I have only 5 followers on Twitter and maybe 20 likes and many that don't like me, it's easy. It's not as easy to tell the same story. And so I think that if social is done right, what happens from a customer perspective, from a prospect perspective, it disarms the ability of the brand or the marketer to use those traditional web tactics, and it basically everything is more transparent. And from a brand side, from a marketer side or website, whatever it is, if it's done right, it allows you, the marketer or the company, to suddenly talk directly to the customers in a meaningful and authentic way. Now, everybody, you have to have something good to say, of course, and you have to know how to do it, but it brings it back to the real connection that we're used to before all that happened, which I think is a good thing. And you see it happening in different places. We all read about, Steve Jobs sending an email directly to a customer saying that, that whatever, the signal on the iPhone is a non-issue and whatever it is. But imagine a place where the data that I have about my customers allows me to personalize what I say to different people, and not just one person in the company, but everybody that's facing customers on the company side can talk to those customers, and then suddenly, theoretically, the world is a much better world. I feel that at the end there'll be a natural balance, and things will end up in the right place for everybody. And just not a direct answer to that, but for example, I often had the conversation with different companies I work with, B2B companies even, on how much information we can ask the customer before we give him a white paper or whatever it is. And some companies say, we won't give anything before they give us all the information. And others say, let's just give everything. And I think it's a give and get thing. It's like in real life. If someone asks you for a lot of information before you even know who they are, you'll be thinking twice about it. You'll say, who are you? Mm-hmm. But if they show value and they give you something before they ask for it, you're more open to give them something back. And I think that it's just common sense, and that's how it'll work out eventually in the online world. Offline, online. I think it's funny. There's the world to me. It's hard. I agree with you. It's hard to even say what's offline and what's online in some cases. I'm not even sure what's offline and what's online. I was at South by Southwest a month ago, and I wasn't sure whether I'm in an online event or an offline event. I was in Austin. I know I was there, right? But people were bumping into each other, and they were also bumping their phone for contacts. With an iPhone app that shares contacts. Everybody had like a hashtag and a Twitter handle. It's a different audience, I understand, but it's a sign for the future, right? So everybody had those things with them. Everybody had followers and people they follow. And at the same time, you saw Ashton Kutcher with his own entourage in real life, with followers and big boss. So you don't know what's offline and what's online. And then we met at the bar and had drinks, and everybody was on their phone telling the rest of the world where they are. So it's hard to say, what's offline and what's online. And I think that we were all offline for many years, and suddenly, our kids are all online, and it'll, again, balance somewhere in the middle, or, I don't know, in between. I don't know if anyone heard or knows this name, Ramon de Leon. Probably not, or maybe. This is a guy who was a delivery guy at Pizza Domino in Chicago. And he was a really good delivery guy. And he, as a matter of fact, was the guy that, if people knew that he's working the shift, they would order from him, because he was very authentic, and he knew how to engage those people that he brought pizza to their home, and he took care of them. And he was very smart, and he now, as a partner, he operates 6 Pizza Domino stores in Chicago, and he made a lot of noise. If you Google him, you'll find a lot of stories about him. But he basically, he's running his own business now, right? He has 6 stores and all that, and he basically kept doing what he did as a delivery guy, and then as a store owner with Twitter and Facebook and all that. And what he does, he always remembered to be very authentic in the way he talks. And when you look at a lot of the online brands that live and think online, a lot of time what they want to do, they want to talk about their product, or the brand, or what they know. And he realized that he doesn't talk about his pizza so much. He talks about the customers. How are you feeling? What do you want? I'm really sorry that the order came late. He'll take care of them. He'll come next time with a shirt, whatever it is. But he basically understands what the consumer has in mind, and in an authentic way, he takes care of them in the offline world using online tools, basically. And the other thing that he does is he's not so worried about ROI. When you think about online, the good and the bad. The good thing about it is that everything is measurable, and the bad thing about it is that everything is measurable. You immediately think of whether the banner you bought brings you a customer and all that, and it's easy to forget about the future benefit of things. And I think that if you're a human being, you don't necessarily think about that. If you're a delivery guy, you don't think about ROI, right? You think about whether you got on time and you made someone happy and all that. And if you are doing the right job and you're making your customer happy, the future benefit of it is those people talking about your business, and can you hear me? Yeah. And bringing many other customers to you beyond that one interaction or one event. And so I think that those are interesting ideas to think about when you think about how to behave online and offline.